On June 10th, 2014, the first trailer for Dead Island 2 was released and it instantly became one of the best and most recognized trailers in gaming history. Everyone and their grandma had seen this trailer at some point, but after that, absolutely nothing. Days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months, months turned to years. During this time, any news that we got about this game was most likely negative, with problems with development or another studio taking over the project. At this point, everyone was like, yep, this game's never coming out. Also during this time frame, an absolutely goated game emerged known as Dying Light, and it only added to people's amnesia regarding Dead Island 2. But on one random day in 2022, we got a new trailer for Dead Island 2 like an RKO out of nowhere. The game was real again. One trailer after the other showed more of what the game had to offer, and now we finally had a release date. And you know what? The timing couldn't have been more perfect, because the sequel to that goated game I was talking about earlier turned out to be an absolute disappointment. This was it. This was the golden time for Dead Island 2 to blow everyone away and finally give them the zombie experience they were hoping for. So with the game's release on April 21, 2023, almost 10 years of wait was finally over, and the only question on everyone's mind was it worth it? Hell no! Let's get into it. Graphically, Dead Island 2 is absolutely stunning. Everything from the textures, lighting, and special effects are just beautiful, and it really sells this game's environments. Not gonna lie, it really does feel like a one-to-one recreation of Los Angeles. The gore system in this game is like no other. I'll talk more about it in a bit. This is also a very well optimized game, which is very rare these days, especially on the PC side of things. This game looks better and renders more chaos than 99% of same looking UE5 slop we get nowadays, while also performing much better. Now, the story of Dead Island 2 begins with a montage of characters boarding a plane to escape the apocalypse, but unfortunately for them, God says nuh-uh, and the plane starts to crash. It is here where you have to choose a character, in which I personally chose Ryan because he seemed like the only one who was gonna be bearable. Once you get off the plane and meet some other characters, your plan is to regroup with them at a different location, but before that could happen, you get the love bite.
I was trying to fucking help you!
But it turns out, your character is actually immune and could be the key to stopping this virus once and for all. From here on out, the story is about your character trying to escape Hell, as the game likes to call it. Now, the praise I can give the story here is that the acting and motion capture is top notch, and the dialogue can be funny at times.
Dude, you lifted from a police station? You're crazy, man!
But it was your idea to look there.
I say dumb shit all the time, yo. I don't listen to me. Don't you know that place is haunted by zombies?
That's basically it. There is no character I cared about. In fact, I couldn't give less of a shit about them. The story is just there to act as an excuse for what we're all here for, the gameplay. Weapon modifications are decent, and so is the variety. You can choose between various types of weapons like swords, hammers, different types of guns, and my favorite of all, Wolverine claws. And man, the gore system in this game is the best ever. It is actually insane. Like, this is the kind of shit that makes my monkey brain happy.
Holy God, what are you showing me? Hey, come on!
Something else that does the same for my monkey brain are the finishers and the rage mode, which can be triggered during normal gameplay, unlike Dying Light 2. Oh, and playing around with the various environmental elements like acid or water is just pure joy. The combat can be very fun at times, except when it isn't, because that was all the good I had to say about this game's gameplay, because in reality, this game's combat is the most basic, boring, unsatisfying, and repetitive shit ever. The attack animations are just awful, especially for blunt weapons, and man, I just want to know how in the past 10 years, Dying Light is the only game in this genre that actually understands the physics behind how heavy weapons are swung. Like, look at this, and now look at these.
It is evolving, just backwards.
Seriously, no one in the history of the world has ever swung a weapon like this. If anything, you could have learned from the cutscenes in your own game. Finishers sometimes have a QTE which feels unresponsive as hell. Also, what the hell are these sound effects? But what is possibly the biggest reason for Dead Island 2's combat being as bad as it is the physics system, or lack thereof. Zombies will just keep taking hits and playing the same looping animations over and over again. It doesn't matter if you are hitting the zombie from front, behind, or side, they'll do the same pathetic, nonsensical left-right pre-baked animation. This is even worse when you stun a zombie by parrying, because they become even more stiff and look like their feet have been glued to the floor. This game is so over-reliant on static animations that the zombies' bodies would much rather play their death and getting up animation instead of reacting to your hits. Like, god damn it, these zombies be attacking you while you're already hitting them with absolutely no change to their animations, as if your attacks mean nothing. Compare this to Dying Light 1, where if the zombies tried to power through your attacks, they would actually stumble and fall onto you. But here, you could be holding a heavy-ass two-handed weapon and even a charged attack will feel like a pool noodle.
Wow.
That's because zombies can only fall on your final hit that kills them completely, or when you deplete this blue meter over the zombie's head first, and it is the only time any form of ragdoll is used in this game, and believe me, I use the word ragdoll very lightly. Because even when these weak ass animations do send these fuckers flying, the zombies still don't display any kind of collision reaction or falling ragdoll.
Son of a bitch!
Hell, sometimes you'll hit a zombie who's down and he'll get up instead. Did this motherfucker just get up on being hit? These undead bastards should at least be struggling to find their footing when they are supposedly getting hit with attacks that are making their body fall apart. It is absolutely jarring that in a game where we have what is probably the best gore system in all of gaming, 90% of the times it doesn't even feel like you're hitting the zombies hard enough for them to start shitting their guts all over the place. Most of the time there's basically zero sense of impact, like my god man, you know you've messed up when using a blade feels almost the exact same as using a blunt weapon. It doesn't matter how close or far you stand when you hit someone or what melee weapon you use, because they all result in the exact same outcome. There is absolutely nothing dynamic about this combat system, which is so unsatisfying, man. But what is satisfying is you subscribing to the channel for more new content. Great one this time. Compare this to a 10-year-old game where your weapons don't just complete their basic ass animations all the time, like they're not even touching the enemy, and will actually stop when it hits them to give the feeling like you're actually chopping someone up. The only time Dead Island 2 feels satisfying to play is when using guns from a distance, or when you have a relatively strong weapon and are fighting a ton of zombies concentrated into one place, because then you aren't able to notice the shit hit reactions because there is so much blood, guts, and damage numbers flying all over your screen. You don't even get a lot of basic ass moves like death from above takedowns, and the moves that are present are as miserable as a Reddit mod. Dropkicks are a joke and there's no reason to use them at all. Like, most of the time they can't even send these explosive zombies far enough so that you don't get damaged. When you try to slide tackle zombies, they don't react until the blue bar is depleted first, and even when they do, this is what you get. But you can get a skill for the slide that makes them do this instead.
Just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
Speaking of the skills, the progression system in Dead Island 2 is equally as poo-poo garbage. You can unlock various skills for the character you choose. Different skills work better with different characters, but there's not too big of a difference. First of all, as I said, there aren't a lot of moves to begin with. Second of all, the skill system is just pretending to be deep by allowing you to only select one move in certain slots and shoots itself in the foot. For example, you are restricted to choosing between either dodging or blocking. And finally, sometimes when you do get a skill that might seem useful, like the Hulk Smash, you have to unlock another skill to pair up with it by playing for a couple more hours to even justify using the original move.
What the hell?
But that is still better than what they do with the difficulty scaling and the leveling system, because they took inspiration from the worst parts of Dying Light 2. This game also uses the worst type of difficulty scaling, where the only difference is to the damage numbers, so all that is being tested is your patience. So if you find a bigger zombie that is even one level above you, good luck trying to not lose your mind trying to kill it. Yes! Oh my god, thank fuck, it's over, thank god. And if that wasn't enough, you have the stupid ass level scaling of enemies. This means that when you level up, zombies level up with you, so it doesn't matter how much you have played this game or how the zombie looks. It makes it so that you have to hit the zombies similar number of times all throughout your playthrough, which means you don't really progress or feel much stronger even towards the end of the game. You can't use weapons that are higher level than you, and when you do get to the level to be able to use them, these weapons become dog shit too. Forget zombie designs visually conveying how tough they might be, because all that matters is the number above their head that keeps going up with you, so even these skinny Pete looking motherfuckers can take a lot of hits. And no, turning off the zombie health bar and damage numbers in the HUD options doesn't change a thing. In fact, it makes the poor hit reactions even more visible. Because of these reasons, the boss fights also suck and are an absolute insult to boss fights in general. This game builds up these bosses and cutscenes like they're gonna be epic battles, yet when you actually get to the gameplay, they literally don't offer anything interesting with different moves or that sort of stuff. It is literally just chipping away at a large health pool for minutes on end, because apparently it is the only way to make enemies difficult.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
As a byproduct of this, it feels like weapons need to be repaired after every damn fight. The combat being this way is a double the sized issue, because remember, Dead Island 2 only has combat. This is not a Dying Light situation where you can give merit to other stuff like the parkour. Dying Light 2's zombie physics and combat are also not even close to Dying Light 1's, but my god, they are still better than whatever the hell this is.
This thing is trash.
And the overall mission design doesn't help things either. Dead Island 2 is not one seamless big open world, it is a bunch of locations from LA that you can fast travel to in order to do main and side missions. The only sort of variety you get in the main missions of this game is with the locations themselves, because other than that, every main mission goes like, go to some place looking for something or someone, kill zombies, solve the same puzzle again, uh-oh, the door is locked, find a key or a circuit breaker to open the door. That's literally it. Motherfucker, this fence is literally begging to be climbed on, but instead, you have to go find a circuit breaker instead. Just a note to media in general, making a joke about a problem in your product does not magically make the problem stop affecting the audience anymore.
Locked, always fucking locked.
Hehe. Look guys, it's funny because that's what we feel too. On the contrary, a lot of times this game will give you optional keys but won't tell you what it unlocks, so what's even the point? Side missions are also pretty much the same fetch this, fetch that type of shit. Like, I know I got that dog in me, but I'm not an actual dog, you buffoons. A lot of times the fights just drag on for too long, and oh, sometimes the game just decides to fuck you over with the mission objective so you don't even know what the hell you have to do.
Come on!
I feel like this game could have been much better if they just made it completely linear at this point, because you can't do parkour, there's no challenges outside of this one side mission chain, only a single intense gameplay set piece throughout the entire game. Like hell, you don't even come across any other survivors fighting zombies. Like, what the hell is even the point of this game being this open level hub type shit? Dead Island 2 is mindless in the worst way possible. There is no method to the madness, it's just a repetitive button mashy slugfest with no care in the world for pacing. There's no point in talking about New Game Plus, this other mode, or the DLCs, because the core issues of the game don't just suddenly evaporate in them. I could say that this game is very fun when you play it with friends, but then again, which game isn't? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I didn't have any fun with Dead Island 2, but my god man, what an absolute letdown for anyone who has any sort of standards in terms of video games, especially after being almost a decade in the making. I only played this game because I got it for free on Epic, and frankly, what other reason does anyone have to pick this game up when Dying Light 1's Definitive Edition goes for peanuts these days during sales? Huge thanks to everyone who watched this video till the end. Here's another video that YouTube thinks you might enjoy, so be sure to check it out. As always, subscribe and I'll see you next time.